from Axios. I just want to say that I got to give a shout out to Axios for one-upping the New York Post in their pun game. Old Yeller, Biden's private fury. Bravo, Axios.
Solid.
Had to add a little bit of insult to that. So look at this picture of Joe Biden. It's like the Dark Brandon meme. Basically, the gist of the story is very, very simple. They're arguing that privately Joe Biden's screaming at people, insulting them, saying, "Don't effing BS me, get the F out of here." And that they claim that if he doesn't yell at you, in fact, he doesn't respect you. Here's what I actually think. No one is safe, said one official. One view of this is that they're putting this story out there to make it seem like Joe Biden is spry.
Mm-hmm. That he has some kind of fire.
Because here's what's going to happen. A lot of regular people who don't watch shows like this, who don't watch clips of Joe Biden, are going to imagine him as this like energetic guy being like, "Hey, you tell me, I'll tell you." Like they are secondhand trying to convince us that Joe Biden's a hard ass. I'm not going to buy it because I've seen videos of him falling up the stairs. But this is what they're trying to do.
Today he got lost on stage and had to be guided by the king. Like, it's not great. I mean, also, it's giving Trump on The Apprentice, right? Like, we already have a strong leader in politics. There's someone else whose personality you said was too intense for this. I think what gets me about the Biden family is if you're going to be corrupt, you have to secure your legacy for maintaining influence when you can no longer be in the public positions of power, right? So, like, I don't know, but maybe the Clinton Foundation, for example, that would be a way to continue to have influence after the fact. But right now, with the Bidens, I don't know of any kind of nonprofit that they successfully run. There's no heir apparent. Obviously, tragically, Beau was apparently the best kid and also passed away first. And then we have his daughter and we have Hunter, who neither one of them are going to launch political campaigns soon. So it's not like the Bush family where there was a couple of them coming up through the ranks. I mean, if Joe Biden is really in cognitive decline, this is the end of them. So there is a reason
the grandkid,
right? And there is a
they need as many as they
right.
can get.
Seriously, especially she's from Middle America. She's from Arkansas. But I was going to say there's nowhere to go. So why wouldn't everyone bail out on them? To your point, like they don't have any loyalty to the power. They have loyalty to the money.
I'd even link this story to the hard drive, and what I mean by that is when I was doing a lot of my early reporting on the hard drive, the people that I was working on it with, we would always sit around and joke, these are the stories that they're eventually going to use to impeach Joe Biden with, right? And if you saw the last 2 weeks or so, there's definitely been more media attention given to the Hunter Biden hard drive and what's going on there and the people who are involved. Even it cuts through the mainstream media occasionally. And I think that a lot of this media war that we're seeing duke out is sort of between the Democratic establishment, like the DNC, and Joe Biden in terms of trying to determine who the candidate is going to be for 2024. And I think a lot of the people who don't want Joe Biden to run again are playing up the hard drive stuff to try to take him out of the running. And I think this in some ways is maybe the Biden camp saying like, no, Joe Biden is in control. He's in...
He yells at people.
My favorite, by the way, the best part of the article, if you read down the bullet point where he's like, he gets really mad at all the Yale-educated staffers using acronyms. I was like, it's so fake. It's so feigned.
But he cannot remember the acronyms.
Yeah,
maybe.
You don't use UN. Yeah, like what?
What does that mean? I have forgotten.
He's probably just sitting there going, "Huh? What you?" Oh, and they're just like, "Oh, he's getting ornery again."
I would get frustrated if I were constantly confused too. That's not fun.
But this is the sad thing about Joe Biden. One of the signs of someone suffering from dementia is anger, because what happens to the person when they can't remember and they can't understand what's happening, it's frustrating for people. It's, you're sitting here and people are saying words you don't understand, you can't remember, and you're getting angry with yourself, like, why can't I remember what they're talking about? And you just get mad and you just outburst. So this happens to a lot of older people when they get frustrated with being unable to deal with the situation. Because, I mean, for most of our lives, our wits are about us. We can respond, we can react. Sometimes we don't know things, it's fine. But imagine knowing you know it, but you can't recall it. It's just so frustrating to lose that control. It's sad, really. But I gotta say, as sad as it may be, like, the dude should not be president.
Yeah, it's also, this is just like, I think it's a derivation of his actual personality, which according to, who's this, Jeff Connaughton, a former Biden campaign and Senate aide, chief of staff to Kaufman when he filled Biden's seat in the Senate, said that he was, that Biden was an egomaniacal autocrat determined to manage his staff through fear. This guy's got a reputation of being a real nasty guy. I mean, there's a video of him being like, if they are found with an this much crack you will serve. 5 years, I don't know what his minimum years in prison was that he didn't do to Hunter when Hunter.
I like that video because then someone cut it so that there were clips of Hunter Biden in between while he's like, you hear Joe Biden's voice being like, this is on, you'll go to jail. Meanwhile, it's like his Hunter's home movies. I don't know. I thought that
Driving
was really
crack,
funny.
doing crack while driving.
Yeah, he's like smoking. You're like, I feel like if only your father could have
Yeah, but
known.
come on, hold on. 'Cause, like, could you imagine being Hunter Biden and you're driving down the street smoking crack and he's thinking, man, life is good.
In the Porsche, and the nice new whip.
Takes a
Yeah.
picture to make sure he
the
saves
gas.
that memory.
But doesn't that like speak to the complete arrogance of this family that Hunter Biden could drop his laptop off at a just normal repair shop and think nothing bad can happen to me. I am too important and too powerful.
Oh, I bet Joe has said to Hunter, and I don't know, probably like, I'll take care of it. Whatever, I got it, Hunter.
I bet it's
and Joe
already
probably
happened.
gets off on that. He's probably like, I'm so powerful. I can protect the weak.
No,
don't think that's
I bet he loves
I
it.
bet
He'd be
Joe.
screaming it.
I bet Joe goes to Hunter and says, "You're a worthless, stupid little piece of
he probably
ass."
does that too.
And
And
the
he's like,
only
but I'll
reason-
take care of it. Don't worry.
No, he didn't say that.
The abusive and then
he says
savior.
the only reason I'm taking care of it is because I get the 10% cut, and don't you forget it.
You think he's that straightforward with him?
Absolutely.
I wonder.
When there were those leaked messages where it's like dad takes your salary or whatever that was all about. What is that, like Joe takes the salaries from his kids or something? He like controls their lives allegedly.
And this is something that his daughter referenced in her diary that got published, right? Like that their dad is controlling that he controls their finances.
I thought it was a text message from Hunter that said something like,
I think there is a Hunter thing, and I'm saying there's also this thing in the Bible, which would mean that theoretically both of his kids are confirming that this is a controlled family, which either means that he does not think his adult children can handle themselves, or that there is a very strange imbalance of power in this family, which might explain, again, why there's nowhere for the Biden family to go. There's no one to take over. There's no clear direction. So though they have garnered a lot of influence, ultimately people will bail out of the ship.
yeah.
That's one way to put it. Yeah. When people turn on the hated, there's one thing that we're missing with Joe Biden is modern video of him just being normal and talking to people, like in his regular environment. It's all curated speech crap. Like, I don't even know what his personality's like, to be honest. I've never really seen him chill and like have a long conversation with
Because he
somebody.
just plagiarizes things.
Yeah, literally,
That's his
he
character.
dropped out of the 1988 run for presidency because he was plagiarizing, got caught plagiarizing.
Man, those were the days, though. You could literally say whatever you wanted because you couldn't fact check anything. Because like, what are you gonna do? There's no internet.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, "Hey, that's the exact verbatim quote from this other guy." I was like, "Oh, I'm caught." That's the funny thing, though. What if Biden was just like, "No, it's not." How are you gonna prove it?
The media would be like, oh, well, it turns out that Joe Biden said at first time travel, then this other guy ripped him off, and then Joe Biden went back in time. Like,
But today
they would bend to his will.
Today we can play videos and prove a thing is false. Back then it's just like what Biden would say a thing, the media would be like not true, and he'd go like, you got me. Why wouldn't you just be like they're lying? No, like that's my speech. Have a nice day. No one's gonna hear it. I mean, here's the crazy thing. Like he didn't. Why did he drop out of the race?
I guess they had proof because they'll play video of him talking
course.
with like Robert
gonna
F.
hear
Kennedy
it?
talking, and he's like saying the same stuff. I guess they had that technology. It was good.
Wait, he's
enough.
doing that now?
I think. Well, I don't know. No, that was from 1988. But now they'll still tell you that they didn't say it right after they said it, and there's video proof that they
Who
said
else
it.
was running that year? I mean, I think part of it might just be that he didn't have
George
the
Bush Sr., or
institutional
was it
prowess to stay in the
Clinton?
right. No one was going to back him up. That could be it. I haven't looked into it.
88. What was that? Dukakis and George Bush Sr. I think it was Michael Dukakis.
Might be.
Yeah,
What?
it was. That was a Democratic
I was 2.
guy.
So,
it was a boring time.
I
to be
wasn't
alive.
around.
Give me-
I don't know. I will study my U.S. history and get back to
I
you.
watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was my 1988. It was much
fun.
better. Yes. Although that's the thing, man. We were all like in that, snowed into that dome that they had us captured in, that media dome. Now we're outside of it.
It's weird, really, how the internet has been like one of the best things ever and one of the worst things ever at the same time.
Yeah.
It's created this group of people who are able to understand a lot more than we've ever understood, and also a psychotic death cult that sterilizes kids. So, there's that.
Trying to communicate with text, I think, is... So they'll look back and realize how damaging it was, because we used to write letters and mail them to each other, but it was like a last resort. If you left a note on your refrigerator for your roommate, it was passive aggressive and nasty. If you didn't go to your roommate and just talk to their face. But now, like, talk about passive aggressive. text conversations.
Yeah.
And trying to have a relation, like what you think people are gonna? Why is there like an 80% divorce rate or whatever, 60% divorce rate, 50% of people, males under 30, haven't had sex in the last year, some crazy number, like this stupid misuse of the internet.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.